I'm Senator Amanda Reagan.
I'm Elizabeth Stanek with Linking Families and Communities in Fort Dodge.
Well, I'm glad you're here because I know that it's, that you work for Early Childhood Iowa and you've been with them for a long time, but it's always good to educate all of us in the legislature to what are some of the benefits and how you've seen it impact families.
You know, early childhood is very broad because we're talking about health and education and well-being of all children. And we've seen those impacts as I've been here for 17 years, so I've been able to see things, happen from prenatal to kids going into school. It makes such a big difference because of the brain development that happens in the first 5 years. From home visitation programs that go in and see the most vulnerable kids in our communities, to preschool programs and childcare, which is really one of the big pushes that we're working on in Fort Dodge right now. Childcare is such an issue, and it's an issue for not only for families, but for businesses.
Right, and we've seen, the need for workforce. And when you provide childcare, you open up a whole new opportunity for people to get into the workforce. And having quality childcare is really important. So when you're going off to work, you know that your child is in a safe and place that you're comfortable with, and I'm sure you've seen that.
Right, employees are more productive at work, they have less sick days, but then we're also building the future workforce.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
Quality childcare is not just good for today's employees, but are the employees of tomorrow. And so I just think we haven't realized up to this point maybe the true impact, that it is a true part of our local economies and our state economies that is needed for people to go to work. In Fort Dodge, where new businesses have come in, they're finding that it's hard to get those employees and maybe their spouses in the workforce because of a childcare issue. So we are working really hard on that locally.
We have all those same issues up in North Iowa, whether it's in Franklin County or Butler or Cerro Gordo, all along my area we've seen the need for childcare in the workforce. The other part of that is childcare resource referral. It's really been working on some opportunities in our area to maybe expand that opportunity for certain businesses, and I hope they're successful.
Yeah, they're doing planning to do a lot around recruitment and retention of new child care businesses and helping communities plan for that. So that's exciting because our whole state is really in need of child care. It's not just, my area or your area, it's across the state. And
so we talked a little bit about, the things that you cover, and you mentioned preschool. Mm-hmm. And I was very active in trying to make sure that we had that in all the schools, and funding it was so important. And I appreciate your hard work for all these years.
Love my job. I can't tell you enough how much
you can tell. Yeah. You can tell. And I think what you mentioned about, catching some of those things in preschool and maybe getting the services for some of the kids that are having some issues, that's really been very beneficial as well. Have you seen a difference for the children once they've been in preschool? I mean, do you think that they're making a difference in the children's lives then?
I used to teach special ed at the middle school level, so I can tell you the difference that many of the kids had those when they were in my junior high special education classroom. I think had they had an early intervention, they wouldn't have been there, many of them.
Well, and this is just an added opportunity to make that call and make sure that we can get that assistance to the right kid.
Right.
So thank you again for being here.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.